Welcome to Bushwick, Brooklyn. Today, it's a nice, calm summer afternoon, and I want to walk around this neighborhood, which I haven't done so in a while. Bushwick is always a very exciting neighborhood here in New York City. So let me know where you're watching from. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and we're starting today at one of my favorite coffee shops in the city. In my opinion, they do some of the most interesting blends of espresso, pour-overs, and cold brews in the entire city. I've been here before. First time I came here was many years ago, nearly during the pandemic times, and it was so much fun coming here. I tried a cold brew that really blew me away. Right now we're a drip here in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and here's my friend Juan. Juan, man, you guys truly make a special coffee. And you're gonna make me a pour-over right now.
Yeah, that's right. We got a little pour-over prepped up here for you, and whenever you're ready, we're set to go, man.
All right, let's do this. Right. I'm excited. So everyone, welcome to the live video. Let me know where you're watching from, and I'm gonna try a very, very good pour-over. I just had an ice Americano, it blew me away. And stay tuned, the coffee documentary will be coming out in mid-August. And Juan here might make also a cameo along with many other people that are involved in the coffee business here in New York City.
Let's go.
And you do this every day, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Every single day. At least one for myself, and then whoever else wants to get one.
And you're a pour-over purist. Like, you love your pour-overs. You were telling me that before.
I did, man. Yeah, I did. So I started really drinking espressos first, you know. I was more of I used to work in a very heavy coffee shop, and there was no pour-overs. This is New York City. A lot of people don't have the time for a beautiful, slow pour, you know.
Exactly.
Everybody's on the go. So I used to work in a really heavy coffee shop, and so I was an espresso guy, you know. By 9 o'clock, I was already 3 espressos in, you know. And then as I found my way through the industry and I started getting to know more about filtered coffee, I was really able to start playing with different kind of roasts, blends, and get really into the science of it, you know. Water, temperature, grind size, a lot of really fun stuff. And so to me, this is one of the best ways to drink coffee, because you really get to experience what the roaster meant to represent.
Oh, of course, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's like a 5-minute process.
Yep. So right now we're letting it bloom. This is called the bloom, and we're just letting it saturate. We're letting all the water saturate and let all the gas release. Right here, I'm about to go for my pour. So,
and if it's well enough, you end up getting. Well, it depends on the beans, but if you use beans that well, you can get like a black tea kind of feeling from it.
100%. I mean, there's not so
light. You can get something very light, very bright, very floral.
Yeah, you know, you can really, because you have a manual control of how you're making the coffee, you can really accentuate different flavor profiles and different notes. So whenever you read a coffee bag and it says it has notes of plum, cherry, and apple, it's not that they're
this one.
It's not that they're infused or anything. Is that those are the hints that, you know, that particular coffee or that particular blend they're trying to give you. So our goal is to read the bag, understand what kind of coffee it is, how it was processed, and basically kind of like what the farmer wanted us to taste and what the roaster wanted us to taste. And then ultimately it's my job to kind of like make sure that I make that come to life, you know.
It quite literally comes to life with that bloom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coffee is intense, man. If you look at the bloom, when you first put the water in, the gas starts releasing, you know.
You can tell if you're doing it right by even how the gas is releasing, how the bloom looks.
There's a lot of variables. Honestly, one of the things is I have a scale here. The scale is the scale is my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I have my numbers here, and so I have my time and I have my target weight, and so I'm measuring everything and I'm keeping everything as consistent as possible so that I can have as much control as possible.
Right.
So if I were to make this drink for the next customer, it'll taste just as good as it was for you.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
because you hold
It has
down
to
the
be-
mat.
everything has to be very meticulous. You know, there is a certain level of like style. Like there's definitely baristas that have different styles. There's different ways to get to the end result.
Right.
But what's important is that the end result is a good cup of coffee. You know, and like I said, something that's
What matters the most.
something that whoever the producers and the people who roasted it and the people who put the care into it before it gets to me. Hopefully, I make it justice so that when it gets to you, it's like three different industries that just try to make sure that you got the best cup of coffee. I don't know of any other industry that really has made so many different times like that.
Oh man, I gotta mention that in the documentary.
Yeah.
You worded it so perfectly that one cup of coffee goes through at least 3 people.
Yeah, it's made 3 different times.
Yeah, the farmer, the roaster, and you, the
It's
barista.
many different times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's not only that. There's also the people who import it, export it. You know, the people who really control what's called the sea market. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Those are the people who really set the value of where the coffee is supposed to be. You know, and so the deeper you get into it, the more questions you have. It's a big, deep world. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's communities, there's worldwide events, there's competitions of all kinds. It's a big industry. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, for me, it feels like it's a shame for me to get it after so many people put the hard work into it
Yeah,
and not do my best to make sure that it's the way it's supposed to be.
exactly.
It'll feel bad for me. I want to be able to do it.
All right, now I'm even more excited to try this pour over. Let me know, have you tried pour over before? We have a few Bushwick viewers as well. Let me know if you've been to Drip. Hello, Joe. Joe says you know coffee.
Oh, I don't know a guy named Joe, bro. Especially if they're from the Bronx. Tell them I don't know anybody named Joe from the Bronx. I don't know.
Felicia, nice to see you here. Hello, Janice. Hello, Susie. Hello, Oleg. LAB, nice to see you here. Welcome, everyone. Oh man, that looks great. All right, nice. How do you feel when the customer, you make this amazing pour over and you're so passionate about it, and then they just dump a bunch of sugar and milk?
I'll stop them.
You will stop them,
I stopped
okay.
them. Last time I made up coffee for some people, and then they asked me for milk because I don't keep it outside. They asked me for the milk, and I told them, I was like, you know what? I would advise for you guys, like really, like it's a pour over. It's a carefully crafted thing. I was like,
I mean, that's why there's espresso. Espresso kind of cuts
so
through the milk.
So I told them, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Before you do,
Yeah.
I'll give you the milk, but before,
Yeah.
try it first, you know, and see how it goes. And then they tried it, and it was, you know, you gotta make it hot. So it was a little hot. So it was like, I was like, trust me, let it cool down a little bit, like hang out. They hung out for a little bit, and after a while, they were like, oh, this is great, man. And, you know, it started cooling. As the coffee cools, it gets better, you know. Like the temperature is so hot right now, but as it cools, the flavor is still developing, you know. So I managed.
This is
to
especially the case with pour over, not so much with espresso.
Well, yeah. So espresso is kind of like something that you kind of want to. A good espresso is an espresso that you can kind of like taste and like either enjoy like a sip it or swing it like a shot. You know.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I like. If the espresso has too much water, then it'll be too hot, and so you can tell. Like as a barista, at least I can tell. If I try to drink it, I'll be like, oh, this is way too hot, and the temperature affects the coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And also the amount of water. So I'm a nerd, man.
So I sidetracked you. What happened with this customer that you were?
So they sat down. So they wanted the milk. So they sat down and they were gonna take the coffee to go. And I was like, listen, if you guys want, like, I'll give you a little cup of almond milk to go, right? But I promise you, like, if you let it sit and you enjoy it as you go, you're gonna enjoy like the coffee as it's supposed to be enjoyed. And they're like, all right, cool. We're in no rush. They sat down, and then after a while, they just were drinking it. And then I didn't want to interrupt them and I also got kind of busy. They got up, they said goodbye, they left, and they left the almond milk. You know?
Oh wow, it's a good sign.
So I was like, oh yeah, okay, so I did it.
Right.
I convinced these people to try it just because I'm sure that their expectation of coffee is kind of like maybe a deli coffee or a Starbucks coffee or something.
Very acidic.
burnt.
Burnt.
Something that it's not, that people don't pay attention to. You know,
That's that kind of stale taste sometimes. It's like
100%.
percolating all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there's like dirty urns, there's There's baristas who is like it's our career.
Yeah.
And then there's baristas who is just a job, which is totally fine. Kids going paying for college. When I was a young man, when I was 18, I was at Starbucks. It was just a job for me. I was like coffee. I was like, dude,
You started at Starbucks. Oh wow.
At 18.
At 18, okay.
Yeah, I'm about to be 35.
Wait, what was the place? What was the Starbucks you started at?
Oh
Which
my
location?
God, it was Dayland Mall in Miami.
In Miami, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably had very
Store
rough customers over there.
Oh my God, dude! When the Apple releases were there, we had to show up at 2:00 in the morning to open at 3 to take care of the people that were lining up at 4 to get the Apple that opened. At the mall opened at 10.
Right.
And we were there at 2:00 in the morning, swinging coffee out of a little kiosk right next to a Macy's.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I got stories all day, man. We can talk about shit all day.
Well, what was your first serious coffee job? Like when you felt like you were a legit barista?
Say that when I felt I was a legit barista-ish,
Yeah.
I worked at a place called Hungry Ghost.
Oh, Hungry Ghost, the Prospect Heights one.
I started at the one in Flatbush. When I
Flatbush,
started,
okay.
there was only one. It was the one at Flatbush.
Flatbush was the original one. Okay.
So the original one was actually the one close to Prospect Park.
Yes.
But it was back then called Prospect Perk.
Oh, really? That was the original name of Hungry Ghost.
So the owner bought Prospect
wow.
Perk, and then he got the space for Hungry Ghost.
Right.
He built Hungry Ghost, the one at Flatbush. That was the original. And then, in like 3 years, he opened up the one in Fulton, and then he rebranded Prospect Perk as the one close to Prospect Park.
Ah.
So now he has 3 Hungry Ghosts in a very small area. And then anyway, it ended up flourishing from there. But that was the first place where I really took classes. Like they used Stumptown, and their classes were available to us, and that's what really sparked my curiosity. The fact that they were so militant, they had everything that I've never seen before. They had the scales, the parameters, the latte art, the rigorous kind of like you're supposed to do it like this, everything kind of made sense, Before I was working at a place that there's like this, 17 pumps of sugar, so you're just like,
Extra caramel, which used to be my main order back in the Starbucks days.
Oh my God, dude! I used to take care of a guy who worked at that Macy's I told you about. He used to do a black tea lemonade venti, the biggest one, with 22 pumps of classic syrup.
Oh my God!
So what we would do is that we would do the pumps first, so that
It's
we could
mostly.
see. Yeah. So we used to do the pumps first to see like how big the cup would fill up.
Oh my God!
And then we had a lady who used to do a venti white mocha with 2 extra pumps, whipped cream, and half every day that she worked, which was 5 days a week.
Oof, that's rough. Wait, what's the weirdest coffee order you get here? Because here you don't have pumps of vanilla and things like that.
To be honest, man, I don't really get weird stuff here, just because everybody knows that this is a very, very direct. People will ask me if I have like caramel macchiatos, and I'll be like, I mean, technically, I have the stuff to make it for you. It's just not called caramel macchiato.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't really have like very weird requests. Yeah, it's honestly very, very straightforward. That's another thing about keeping it simple, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I like the coffee shop style. It looks very kind of straightforward and very nice and minimal.
Yeah,
and you got some cool album covers as well.
And I mean, and then obviously, one of the big things about this shop is that, like I said, we don't have a lot at the moment, but we usually carry a lot of bags of beans.
Oh yeah, you guys are still a multi-roaster.
Yeah, exactly. So we have only 3 right now, but sometimes we do 6.
Which one's this one? Actually, let me taste the notes, and then you'll let me know.
Yeah.
Let me see what I end up getting. This might be because you talked about it before, but I'm getting grape. Yeah.
It's just very prominent, It's like
it's grape. It's
it's
a light body.
It's not too bad. Yeah. It's not too bad.
In a good way.
Honestly, I mean, you can always control the body. Like for example, I like my coffee with a little bit of a heavier body. Some people like it a little bit lighter, and that all has to do with the relationship of water and coffee.
Right.
like how much coffee I'm using versus how much water I'm using.
Oh, interesting.
You
Interesting.
know, so if I'm making,
Not as bean dependent. Then.
it's literally, I mean, it's bean dependent in certain senses, right? Like the roast level will definitely, like, so it'll be bean dependent in the sense that when you grind it,
Yeah.
you'll have to adjust the grind, you know, and you have to adjust the water to certain kind of roast levels. This is why this is a science, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different variables.
Right.
But for all intents and purposes, man, to keep it simple here, in my opinion, like I do something where when I make pour overs, I do two variables. I change the grind size, which is the size of the particle of coffee, and the temperature of the water. And then in terms of how much coffee I use and how much coffee I get out, I usually do it the same way for customers. But when I do it for myself, I use a little bit less water because then the coffee will have more body, it'll be stronger.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So normally I do a 1:16 ratio just because it's like a safer bet.
That's what most
For
people
me,
are used to.
I'll do 1:14.
Hey, that's very similar to French press, like the ideal French press.
I make some badass French press coffees too, man. And you know, I don't really go super coarse like most people do. I go a little less coarse, and you know, I think it's a great method. You know, there's one thing about coffee is that like there's always a lot of things that carry on for generations. All these little myths and things about like that.
Right.
And one thing that I like about specialty coffee is that everybody just kind of starts pushing the boundaries, and they're like, oh, it turns out that that's not true at all.
Yeah,
You know, we don't have to make French press super coarse. We can actually dial it down and still get a really good coffee. You know?
That's right.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
I'm still. I had this argument with my friend Emma from Arabica. I'm not sure you met Emma from Arabica.
yeah.
I'm very pro Longo espresso shots, but it's not popular here in the U.S. and especially in New York.
They're not. But you know what's funny, man, is that I work with a buddy of mine who has a decent espresso machine, and they have all these like presets on there, and they have a lot of like allonges or like longos, you know.
Yeah, allonge as well, and in France, that's what they call it.
But the cool thing about like the DC machine, for example, is that you know it has all these like features where like it measures the amount of flow rate, the pressure, and the temperature, and it keeps track of everything at the same time. So you can kind of manipulate it as if it was like Ableton, where you can set certain parameters specifically, right? In that regard, I think longos and allonges are awesome. But because in this city there's so much bad espresso,
Yeah,
an
exactly.
allonge out here is almost like a good allonge out here or a good longo out here.
It'll be watery, it'll look
Super
nasty.
hard to
Yeah,
find, bro.
yeah,
Super
yeah.
hard to find.
That's right.
Because, like I said, you really have to like dial in the coffee to make sure that it tastes good in that regards. But some people do ask for that. They're like, "Hey, man, can you run straight more water into it?" And you're like, "All right, I guess." Which I totally get.
Right, exactly. So the coffee here is amazing. I really love it. It's very bright, it's very nice. Yeah, you're right, man. This tastes like a grape juice, grape soda.
And the more it cools, the more the grape starts to
It's coming out.
develop. Yeah.
It reminds me of those grape sodas in the can.
Welch's,
Yeah. No, not the Welch's. The canned grape sodas that were very popular in the '90s. I forgot the name of them. Let me know in the comments if you remember.
That's hilarious.
Did you grow up in New York?
I grew up in Colombia.
Colombia, okay.
And then I got to Miami when I was 10, and then I left Miami when I was 21.
Oh wow, okay.
So my life was split in thirds.
Okay,
One third in Colombia, one third in Miami, and then I've been here for fucking
Miami or New York for coffee? Which one's doing it better?
New York. You can't beat New York, bro. However, I will say this: like cafecito, like a good cafecito in Miami with a tostada,
Yes.
bro, unbeatable.
Exactly.
Unbeatable.
Good
So,
Cuban
like,
espresso. I was actually stunned by the Cuban espresso when I went to
There's
Miami.
a lot of good places in Miami, man. Miami has some really good baristas,
Right.
some really good Cuban coffee, some really good Cuban food. As a matter of fact, Key West has one spot called Cuban Coffee Queen.
Oh, okay.
It's a spot in Key West. If you ever make it out to Key West, make sure you look out for Cuban Coffee Queen. Fire ass coffee and fire ass sandwiches, man.
Oh, that's
Really
amazing.
cool stuff.
And a few people are asking, is there iced coffee? Yeah, there's iced coffee here. Almost every specialty coffee shop, you can always find iced coffee.
So
It depends on what is iced, but it could be iced Americano.
So here's the tricky thing, right? Like all cold brews are iced coffees, but not all iced coffees are cold brews, right?
Okay.
So an iced coffee can be like a coffee that was brewed hot
Yeah.
poured over ice.
Which I hate when they call it a cold brew.
It's
it's not a cold brew, yeah.
So there's cold brew, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like like I said, iced coffee is maybe hot coffee poured over ice, or hot coffee that was left to cool down and then chilled. Whereas cold brew is coffee that was chilled from the start. It's cold brew.
What's your opinion on that type of iced coffee that's left to chill? Hot to chill.
So actually, I don't have a problem with it. I think there's a lot of
You don't?
really cool
I really
notes.
don't like it.
So here's the thing. It has to be done well, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying
It could be done well.
I'm not saying so there's a lot of things that you can get from hot coffee that you can't get with with cold brews, right?
Yeah.
I think cold brew, for example, it'll mellow out a lot of the acidity, and I think some acidity is good for certain coffees. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you can get something like that with coffee that's made hot and then chilled,
Yeah.
right? And then certain coffees benefit from a cold brew, right? If you have something that's very acidic and you don't like the acidity, you make a cold brew, right? You tone down the acidity, you let it develop over time. It's an infusion method, So the beans are just sitting in coffee for 12, 24 hours, just seeping away, right? But this is like hot flash, The hot water activates the coffee and it releases a lot of stuff that you might not be able to release if you do it in cold.
A flash brew is really good. Yeah, like the Japanese pour over that.
That's
you
a
said
great
you do
example.
something.
Japanese.
Can I order, like, not now, but like if I were to come any other day, can I order a Japanese pour over?
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. When on a really hot day, yeah, of course. And like I said, and that what's interesting is that iced coffee, Japanese cold brew or flash brew and cold brew are again 3 different things, right? Very similar, but the approach is different. And when you're nerdy into coffee, it'll make a huge difference for sure.
Oh, fascinating. Susie's asking, do you play that instrument?
I do play that instrument.
Oh, cool.
Not that particular one.
Yeah.
Because the strings are rusted and it'll cut my fingers.
Oh,
but
shit.
I do play that instrument at home when I get the chance.
That's amazing. Man, thank you so much for the pour over. I appreciate it. Where we're located right now, where can people find more about Drip?
We are in, like I said, we're in the cusp of Bushwick, between Bushwick and Bed-Stuy, right off the Myrtle Broadway stop on the J train or on the M train. I like to call this area the Times Square of Brooklyn because there's always something going on.
Sure is, yeah.
So yeah, man. So,
And then a few other locations, 3 in Manhattan, right?
there's a few, There's 2 in Manhattan,
Yeah.
and then there's one inside of the Clark Street subway stop on the 1 train.
Right.
Which is pretty unique. And then we have a little like secret location inside of Amman, which is like an art gallery in East Williamsburg.
Oh, cool. All right, so be sure to say hi to Juan when you come here, over here to Drip in Bushwick. I'm gonna continue walking around. I'm gonna put a cap on this. All right, everyone, let me know where you're watching from. I just posted a video of Lufthansa. That is a partnership that I did. That's why I went to Munich. So go right now to my TikTok at Ariel Vieira. Leave a comment there. I'll be so appreciative. And then we're gonna continue now walking through Bushwick. So Luke said, I just Googled it. That's amazing, Luke. Amazing here. All right, let's do this. Ooh. All right, I like that. It's a black cup. All right, Juan, have a great day, man.
Have a great day, man. Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure. Okay. So we were at Drip right here. Drip, just a few blocks from the Myrtle Wyckoff stop here in Brooklyn, in Bushwick. And Adriana says, nice colored shirt. Is it linen? It is linen. Yeah, thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. It is linen. I think the Blue House of Bushwick is nearby here. Check it out. Mika says, I don't have TikTok. Are you posting that on FBYT? So, before I continue walking through Bushwick, I end up going to Munich. Awesome trip. I also had the chance to go to Toronto because it was a layover, a long one, because I was working with Lufthansa Airlines. Lufthansa is the main airliner of Germany, and they were so kind enough to invite me over to visit Toronto and Munich. and it was a paid sponsor post, and it's only on TikTok. They only paid me to do it on TikTok. But these type of sponsorships allow me to make those live videos that I did in Barcelona, that I did in Toronto, and that I did in Munich, because Barcelona was also a Lufthansa partnership. And other similar partnerships help me to make more videos, not just the 1 or 2 sponsor videos that I do for the sponsor, but other live videos, other short videos about the history, the food, the architecture. So if you could go right now to my TikTok, at Ariel Vieira, so tiktok.com/@Ariel Vieira, if someone can write it down. It's the most recent posted video, Lufthansa Allegris. It's one of 2 videos. If you could comment on it right now, it would be such a really big help, really big support, so I can bring you more quality entertainment all around the world. And this guy knew about coffee. He really did. He really gave us like a cool perspective into coffee. So here we have a few buildings. Juan was telling us about these buildings, which were so interesting. And someone's playing music, so I'm gonna move. Okay, I moved away from the guy playing the loud music. So yeah, go right now, TikTok, at Ariel Vieira, ARIELVIERA. Someone could put the link right now in the comments, one of the moderators. That'll be such a huge help. And comment on that Lufthansa video. It's the last video I just posted just about an hour ago. And leave a comment about what you enjoy about the video, what you enjoy about flying on, if you ever flown Lufthansa, if you would like to fly there, write down a comment, anything about positive about Lufthansa, and it'll be a big help. All right, let's continue walking around Bushwick. This is a new park. I don't remember this last time I came here. Susie says, how dare you come to Bushwick when I'm not here? Hey, Susie, I'm surprised you're not here. I'm surprised that you're not here. I'm glad this is your neighborhood. Susie, let us know if you have any pro tips. Susie is revealing personal information that I will not repeat in the comments. So we have a few Bushwick viewers. Susie, a very long-time viewer, being one of them, has begged that I come back to Bushwick. So I'm back. I'm back in Bushwick. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh my God, Juan is right. Now I'm really tasting grape. This coffee has turned into a grape juice. A really good grape juice, like those refined grape juices that you find in glass bottles when you go to the overpriced supermarkets. Yeah, those are really good. Shout out to Juan. I was shocked. I thought I was going to be there for only 5 minutes, but Juan, such a wealth of knowledge. It ended up being like a 20-minute chat, so let me know if you enjoyed that coffee chat. I was going to say something else. Oh, someone asked me if I was wearing linen, and I was indeed. Hey, how's it going? Hey, have a good day. People are waving. Is it a nutty taste? Says Wendy. No, no nuts. Just grapes. Big grapes. People are saying I never seen Susie's comments. I multi-stream to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So those comments are on Facebook. Marie says, I want coffee now, but it's too late for coffee. Juan is like a mad scientist coffee. Yes, Juan is a mad scientist coffee. So if people are very curious to learn what Juan was talking about, because we got pretty in-depth pretty quickly, the coffee documentary will explain it, and we'll get into the ins and outs about those little secrets about coffee. Ooh, these are nice little homes. Whoa, look at this massive apartment complex. This is why I passed by last time while it was under construction about 3 years ago. I can listen to Coffee Talk for hours. I love the coffee science, says Nibud. Nibud, that's great to hear. That means you'll really enjoy the coffee documentary. It'll be about an hour long. And it's coming out mid-August. So right now, let me know if you commented on the TikTok at Ariel Vieira. Let me know if you commented on the Lufthansa TikTok. I'll give you a shout out. Hey, Get says you should go to Melbourne. Best coffee in the world. Yes, I heard definitely. Some of the better coffee shops in New York City are owned by Australians. Two of which are featured in my coffee documentary. Stay tuned. So I'm super excited. But great coffee here by Aussies in New York City. Ariel, do you like modern architecture? Says Luke. Modern architecture could be nice. But right now, these apartment buildings that we're looking at, I would prefer if it were done more of a neoclassical style or Art Deco style. You know, this architecture is nice, but I really like the style you see in Paris, in the Upper West Side. I would prefer that as opposed to this. I'm not the biggest fan of this type of modern architecture. Susie says, new construction up ahead. Ooh, all right. Let's check out the new construction. Nabul says, remember, I have a DeLonghi grinder coffee machine at home. Oh yeah, I remember. Wow, look at what they did with the lobby here. There's a huge courtyard. Susie says these are senior housing. Really? I like steel and glass. Everyone disagrees, says Luke. Yeah, I mean, steel and glass it does look nice to some extent, but I think we've overdone it in many of our cities. Because there are great glass buildings. You know, like Frank Gehry is a good example of a great modern architect. I mean, even this right now that we're looking at, the use of brick combined with that black aluminum or steel, whatnot, with the large windows. It's a very nice combination. I think it's very pleasant to look at. Wendy says, I love the Met Tour. I'm glad you did. The Met Tour is is on Instagram, Urbanist Live, and I'll be posting it on my Instagram stories. Pythagorean says, I'm having a huge Freddo espresso made by Greeks, and it's Yaya approved. Yeah, someone earlier asked, can you find Freddo espresso at these coffee shops? No, Freddo espresso is very rare in New York City coffee shops. Imagine, would you live there? Like, we can see the guy's bedroom right there. That's so weird. Oh, it says, I'm not into TikTok. Just replace the thumbs up with a heart on Facebook under that post. I appreciate that. But if anyone's on TikTok, I appreciate a comment on the video. I asked for a comment on the video. Usually I don't ask for a comment on the video. But in this is a special case. I really loved working with them. And last time I asked people to engage with that Lufthansa video in Barcelona. It did so well that they invited me again. So, hey, if I can show you more cool stuff around the world, I will ask. So thank you so much, everyone who commented last time. Susie says that building has a lot of management issues, I heard. Yeah, it looks like it. Look how massive it is. You know, that's the thing. With these buildings, they're so big that I don't think they could be managed that well. Sal says, from 1962 and 1968, I lived on Star Street near Knickerbocker, across the street from Maria Hernandez Park, which was formerly Knickerbocker Park. Ah, yeah, that's a very nice area of Bushwick. We're pretty far away, I think, from that area of Bushwick. Bushwick is one of those big neighborhoods in New York City. So Bushwick still has that industrial flavor to it. Bushwick used to be a very big industrial hub of New York City. So Susie says that building we passed by has a lot of amenities. Ooh, sorry, we're pronouncing amenities. It has movie theaters, other things, common areas. Wow, probably a gym as well. Hello, Nubul. You're like 10 blocks away from Maria Hernandez Park. Ooh, I am close. Ooh, that's good to hear. I have another sip of this grape juice. Oh wow, even more grape. Slowly turning into wine at this point. This is really good. Ooh, sorry for the viewers who are not based in New York. Bushwick is located in the borough of Brooklyn, which is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. So we are about maybe a 25 minute train ride away from Manhattan. So Bushwick is pretty deep into Brooklyn. Thumbs up, business class looks like a great way to travel. Comment left. Yeah. Ooh, we got a comment from Bob on TikTok. Bob, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate that. Round of hearts to Bob for leaving a comment on the TikTok. Ooh, we got more construction here, but I see a lot of people walking from this direction, so we're gonna walk across the street over here. Samuel says, what trains get you to Bushwick? The L, the M, and the J. Clarence says, the guy behind you thought you were referring to drinking lean. Ooh, what's lean? That's a term I haven't heard before. Sounds familiar, but I haven't heard it. Susie says, I still haven't tried drip coffee. Susie, you just gotta go. You gotta go. Make the leap and go. Have yourself a good drip. A drip coffee. Alright, let's go to this little industrial area. Let's see what it's about. Doreen says I should go to Susie's house. Susie, can you invite us for some Bustelo coffee and some crackers? Mika, nice to see you here. Brown Eyed Girl is tuning in. Welcome, welcome, Brown Eyed Girl. Susan, we got a few Susies today, but Susan says, no cake, just crackers. Susie says, sorry, I'm not home. Sure, Susie, sure. We all use that. That excuse. Hey, Lion says, lean is a drug you put in soda. Ah, yeah. I gotta learn about, I have not heard about lean before. I might have inadvertently had it at one point in my life, because I did have a drink one time in New York where I just felt not drunk. I felt a very, very different type of intoxication. So be careful where you buy your drinks in New York City. What is this? Where are we right now? It's like a... Susie says, I'm not home right now. Please don't break into my house. Tyler says, hey guys, happy Thursday. Favorite thing about the Lower East Side is Clarence. The vibe. I'm actually posting a video soon about a specific area of the Lower East Side. Stay tuned. Probably be posted tonight on my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Shaky Dave says, I think you're in the bad part of town. Nah, not really. The bad part of town is the opposite direction. Opposite direction, it gets a little bit more shady. Don't worry, Bob is here to protect me. So if you're tuning in right now, TikTok, Ariel Vieira, go to it, watch my recent video with Lufthansa and give it a comment. Lufthansa, it was a wonderful partnership. They sponsored 2 videos on TikTok. I just posted the first one. And that's the reason why I went to Munich and Toronto. And that's why I went to Barcelona a few months ago. It's a very nice partnership. And leaving comments really pushes the algorithm a little bit more, so it gets seen by more people who are curious about the flying experience on an airliner like Lufthansa. I'm not sure where we are at this point. Oh. A lot of people coming out this way. I guess we are close to one of the train stations. Clarence says, favorite jazz artist in my opinion. Art Blakely is the one I gravitate to the most. Now I know where we're at. So we're close to the L train. One of my favorite coffee shops is down there called Dayglow, which will make a cameo in my coffee documentary. Wendy says, are we going to the club? When it comes to nightlife, Bushwick is one of the better places for nightlife. So There's a few areas here where there's a concentration of nightclubs and bars that are open pretty late, DJs and such. So it's a good place. Shaky Dave says Ariel has deliberately got himself lost. I was lost there for like 1 minute and 37 seconds, but then I found my way. Here's a thrift store, Beacon's Closet. I highly recommend it. It's a great thrift store. You can find a lot of stuff here. Pythagorean says, do I have a large crow? No, I don't. I have not domesticated a crow yet in my life. Susie says, don't you feel like you're in Europe now? No, but yesterday I did go to an area in the Lower East Side, Chinatown. That's now the new nickname, Dime Square. And I felt like I was in Europe. I felt like I was in Europe. You know why? There was a lot of seating on a closed street. The street was closed. Plenty of dozens upon dozens of chairs out there, and I did not need to go up to a hostess or host to ask for a table. I just sat down and I got served, and just drinks. I didn't need to order food. It was amazing. It was a game changer. Wait, Susie mentioned Brooklyn blackout cupcakes? Where? I want to know. Pythagorean is asking TikTok. Is it more like a fan thing? No, TikTok is just has short videos, just like Instagram Reels, just like YouTube Shorts. TikTok is the one that really popularized that format. And my following there is the biggest one. Ironically, it's not the one that I really kind of pay attention to the most. The one I find more interesting to cultivate is Instagram and YouTube over here, and to a similar extent Facebook. But on TikTok, I have 700,000 followers, so it's my biggest audience at the moment. Wow, someone left a $5 super chat. We got Shaky Dave sponsoring this adventure. Thank you so much, Shaky Dave. I appreciate that. Wow. It really does taste better when it cools down. That's so interesting. Yep, this coffee keeps getting better. You know, Jesus turned water into wine, but Juan did a good job of turning coffee beans into wine. Susie says, Flushing and Bogart is the intersection with the Brooklyn Blackout Cakes. Ooh. Where's Flushing and Bogart? I don't know where Flushing and Bogart is. So right here is one of the more famous pizzerias of Brooklyn. Roberta's still big recommend for me. They are always awesome. Plenty of seating. When was the last time you've been on a cruise? Says Adam. I've never been on a cruise in my entire life. Ooh, Roberta's to go. Let's check out the graffiti over here, the street art. Oh, look at that. Enjoying your coffee. I've been doing nitro brew, says Lion. Hey Lion, you've been doing the nitro brew, man. That's cool. I'm going away in September, so I Says Brown Eyed Girl, I hope to travel. Hey, Brown Eyed Girl, that's awesome that you're traveling in September. I still haven't tried a slice at Roberta's. Susie, what are you doing? You're in Bushwick, close to so many interesting things. Have yourself a slice of Roberta's. Order it at least on Uber Eats, because you can order Roberta's on Uber Eats. I think you can. You should be able to. Hey, Robert says, I thought you were in Belgium. No, I am not in Belgium, Robert. Why do you think I was in Belgium? My last Belgium video was March. And then I saw you go to Toronto, says Robert, then back overseas, then back in New York. Like, where are you? So this entire Lufthansa partnership is actually a cover. I have discovered the power to teleport. But you gotta keep this a secret. I cannot reveal this publicly, so I say that I go on the airplane, but in essence, at any moment, I can end up in Tokyo, Japan. Wendy says, let's get some treats. All right, I think this might be a good place to get a treat. Let me see, who wants to go into the abandoned building with some spooky graffiti inside? Hey, Brown Eyed Girl says, because of you has piqued my interest even more. I'll be able to get away to Greece finally with a friend. But we're gonna stay in Spetstes. Ooh, I don't know what Spetstes is, but I do hope you enjoy it. Ramon says, at night it could be dangerous walking here. I would say generally no. Bushwick is pretty calm. It depends. Bushwick is a big neighborhood. There are certain pockets of Bushwick where I would not walk at night. Here, of course, depends who you are. I generally feel safe in these parts at night, but it really does depend. Always practice street smarts. But Bushwick is generally a very safe neighborhood. Gwen, nice to see you here. Welcome. So you can see Bushwick is so highly decorated. There's barbed wire, you know, to make the neighborhood feel more safe. Tanya says, is this a jail? No, it's probably something industrial. Hence the barbed wire. It seems to be a contracting firm, so I assume they don't want anyone sneaking in and stealing any, I don't know, sheets of metal. So much graffiti, says Doreen. Yeah, indeed. Gwen says, thank you. My pleasure, Gwen. Wow. Clara says, do you like Mies van der Rohe? I can see how he was influential. I personally don't like his architecture. I can see why his architecture was very influential, paved the way for some interesting modern buildings. So someone was asking about my shirt. Yes, it is indeed linen. Denise says, it looks like a sad place. No, it's actually quite a happy place. Bushwick is a place filled with happy memories for me and for many New Yorkers. This is the place where there was a lot of parties, cool bars, awesome little food places. There used to be a lot of parties in these type of apartments, which are loft apartments. They're post-industrial, so they're massive spaces. They have huge rooftops, so there used to be rooftop concerts. Laverne actually says, what area of Bushwick you're in? We're right now by the Morgan Avenue stop on the L train. That's where we are in Bushwick. Almo says there's happiness on every corner. There is happiness on every corner. I mean, don't you just feel happy? That's not. Don't you feel happy? I mean, someone was happy at some point here. When you feel happy at Hell Phone Cocktail Bar, let me know. Here we are at the Morgan Avenue L train stop on the subway. Easiest way to get in Manhattan. Get to Manhattan fairly quickly. Robin says, I'm exhausted from all your travel. Oh yeah, Robin. I don't blame you, Robin. It's a lot of travel. I'm exhausted myself. I still got accustomed to jet lag. Wow, look at these apartments. Oh, that style I really like. Let me know, what do you think of this style? That I really approve of. Look at that. That's sleek. I like the use of wood here. It's Bushwick affordable, says Doreen. If you want to roommate with 6 other roommates who might not all be mentally stable, then yes, it's affordable. If you want to live on your own, or you have a significant other, and you want to live in a place that has no roaches or rats, good luck. It's gonna be very expensive. Shaky Dave says, I live vicariously through you. Hey, Shaky Dave, I'm glad to hear. Mika says, I'm just filming my way to Susie's apartment. Hey, Alamo says, looks incomplete. I think it's still under construction, this apartment building. Looks like it. Clarence says, this building looks like something you see in the Northwest. Yes. Susie says, it's affordable for me because I won the housing lottery 15 years ago. Oh, wow. So Susie, you know, I've walked and walked and have not seen these Brooklyn blackout cakes. Oh my God, retail space for lease. Ooh, we're on Bogart Street, but where's Flushing? Look at that, retail space. This area is going to change very quickly. It's gone slower than I would have imagined. So I started really coming here like in 2009 is when I started really visiting Bushwick a lot. And 2009, it was pretty rough. There's not that many apartment buildings around, a lot of dingy clubs and bars. And it has changed significantly. And about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I made a live stream. I had said to many people, like, this will become glitzy, like Manhattan. It hasn't happened yet. It's happening with Williamsburg, Brooklyn, which is the next neighborhood northward here from Bushwick. It has happened with stores like Hermes. But if you see retail spaces like these, big glassy storefronts, this is a sign that there might be a very big change coming soon here. It still has a bit of industrialness to it, but I don't think this will stay too industrial for much longer. Something is going to happen here very quickly. It has been a slow start, I think, for Bushwick to really radically change on the level of Williamsburg or Dumbo, Brooklyn. But I think once it starts happening, it's going to happen very fast. And this neighborhood is also it's going to feel almost night and day. Just within maybe the span of a year, you're going to see this neighborhood kind of completely change. And I think this is a good marker of it. This is a good marker of it. Roach says 2010 was when the gentrification hit. It did. Catherine says, I love Williamsburg. It's more lively. Yeah, I think Bushwick has done a few mistakes that has led to its quietness. If Morgan Avenue, which we pass by right now, if they started closing down those streets, because those streets barely cars pass by anyway. If you were to make it into like a public plaza, allow restaurants to put seating on the sidewalk, I think you would see a really more vibrant pedestrian life in Bushwick, but that's not the case right now. Brown Eyed Girl says, you also saw the gentrification of Long Island City. Long Island City is another place that radically changed in a mere short few years. Brown Eyed Girl says, you cannot touch a studio in Long Island City for $3,000. Yep, Long Island City is prohibitively expensive for many New Yorkers. Pythagoras says, I see a lot of empty real estate. And I think that's another factor why why Bushwick, Brooklyn is empty. Another reason is because even apartments right here, an older building, which is probably a very high risk of pests. There's noise coming from these industrial businesses, and I think, and the bars late at night. I assume this bar probably has a lot of music late at night. I think with all these factors, if you're gonna spend $5,000 a month to live in here, you know, it's so expensive that you just don't have enough people in the neighborhood. And the neighborhood has a lot of opportunity to become very vibrant. You just need more affordable housing. You need more bigger middle-class housing here, as opposed to either very expensive condos and then right next to it, old, decrepit buildings that haven't been kept up and are also very expensive because they can charge that amount of money and people will pay for it. What happened to the bananas in your Airbnb? Oh, Wendy. You know, it's a long story. It's a pretty dramatic one. And it's a bit tough for me to talk about. What happened to the bananas? What happened to the bananas? One day I'll talk about them. One day. Shaky Dave says, we need bananas. Hey, I like this tribute to the Dragon Ball Z creator. So in all seriousness, it was a running joke that every time I did an Airbnb or hotel room tour, I had a random banana somewhere. However, the past few Airbnb tours, I have not put in a banana in there. And the reason for that is very simple. I've been traveling so fast. I usually travel slowly, so I have a few days in the Airbnb minimum, sometimes a week or two. So I have time to buy a banana in advance, knowing that I will film an Airbnb tour. But these past few trips I've been doing this past few months have been so short and so packed. I've been doing so much work while doing them that I just haven't had the chance to buy a banana. It's that simple. But they will resume. They will come back. Oh, it doesn't stop. Shaky Dave says sometimes the bananas have to go so you can miss them again, so you can appreciate them again. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes you have to miss the bananas so you can see how beautiful the bananas were and are. Brown Egg Girl says change the fruit to grapes. I prefer bananas. I can't really do any other fruit. Shaky Dave says you'd be going too fast. I have been going too fast. It has been fun. I do still prefer to travel slowly, but the opportunities have called and I've taken them to do these fast-paced trips, and they've been nice. I'm extremely grateful for doing them. Ariel, let me ask a film question. From your travels of late, do you feel a particular focus towards more focus in any special area of filmmaking? Hey, that's a good question. Brown Eyed Girl. I feel like I'm more interested in culture, and that's why I love making these documentaries so much. There was very loud music. So I love oh my. This is one of the better coffee shops also in Bushwick called Say Coffee. And it seems like they're about to close. They have a for sale sign up there. Oh wow. So I've been more attracted to investigating culture. For sure. Okay, I will depart from all of you here. I hope you enjoyed this little mini tour of Bushwick. You got a sense of like the one of the more visited areas. Right now it's the weekday. There's not gonna be too many people here, but if you come here on the weekend, it'll be way more lively. Right by the Morgan Avenue stop. We started right by the Myrtle Wyckoff stop on the J train, and this is now the L train at the Morgan Avenue stop. Right now, go to TikTok. Ariel Vieira is my TikTok handle, and then go there and comment on my latest video of Lufthansa. I usually don't ask people to comment on my videos. I don't bother with that, but in this case, they've been such a fruitful sponsor that I would love to continue working with them in various ways, and they have provided me with the opportunity to have a budget to go to Munich, to Toronto, and to Barcelona, and to show you those places on live video. They've only sponsored 2 short 30-second videos, but I took the chance to show you videos. Damn it. more rap music. A lot of people blast music here in New York City. I had the opportunity to show you even more cool places. So thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. It was such a blast visiting these countries as of late, and I'll be visiting a new place in just a few more days. You'll be seeing a new location, very hot location, very beautiful, wonderful location filled with enchantment. So stay tuned. It's gonna be a fun ride on live video. Dario says, is that Lufthansa video only on TikTok? That Lufthansa video for now is only on TikTok. They sponsor specifically TikTok. They did not sponsor any of my other platforms. All the other videos I did on my own about Munich were just on my own volition. But they sponsored 2 short videos about the airplane experience of flying to Munich, which soon will be from JFK to Munich, that flight. So go to Lufthansa and go to my TikTok and comment there. And then you stay tuned on Urbanist Live on Instagram. I'll be posting more about Lufthansa's flight, so you can see more of the full raw journey of flying business class on Lufthansa. So stay tuned. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. In a few days, I'll be going to a whole new location. It'll be really hot. I'll put this London shirt to good use. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome. And always, keep on exploring. Have a great day. Bye-bye.